Yo guys, welcome to the complete guide for Viper on the map Bind. This will show you basic one-ways, lineups, walls, and the best way I've found to play for offense and defense. If this video helps you in any way, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. It doesn't cost anything and it really does help. To start, we're going to look at defense on A site. It's going to start off with two basic one-ways as well as where to use your wall. To start off, you want to look at these lines and count back 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like sit yourself right here. Use your orb and just jump and right click. Now land it on the box over here, giving you a wee one way for any of the enemies that are pushing up over here, and you can pretty much sit anywhere that you have sight on this orb and you'll see their legs poking out if they decide to try and push this. The second one way is over at showers. You just come straight into this corner. And you can see with this bit up the top, you want to look at this first line up here from the middle. Just putting your crosshair right on the wee corner that lines up against the wall, and again jump and right click. That'll land your orb right on top of this sign, and giving you a nice one way for anyone who attempts to try and push this. Again, they won't be able to see anything, well you can see their legs if they try and peep this. If you do use your orbs for one-ways on either side of here, I recommend using your wall to help slow down any pushes that happen on B site. You can just come to this corner over here and line it up with the wall at the back of B site. And this will give you full cover for whoever's playing on B site to slow down the push, giving you time to rotate and making it completely easier for anyone trying to defend, since they'll have to push through the smoke. The other way you can play on A site is to use your wall to defend both entryways. This will cover the door to showers as well as A short. And you can use your orb just if you're playing on site to just maneuver around. If they do go for a B site and you've used your wall here already, what you can do is come over to this little corner up against the bollard over here. Using your orb, you want to line up your venom meter with the, you want to continue this line here just up until you're on top of this, and imagine this line keeps on going and you want to put the bottom left corner of your venom meter up on that line. Then you want to jump through it and that'll land it in the window of B. I mean, you can cover that, and if they have taken sight already, then this will give you some extra cover for anyone who's still in hookah. And you can use your venom to try and clear certain corners, such as this one here. That'll push anyone out hiding behind here. You can also use your venom to clear anyone trying to push around here, as well as potential default plant site. For defending on B site, you've got two ways you can probably play it. Again, you could cover both entryways with your wall. And this gives you an opportunity to hold on to your orb for potentially retaking A or just playing around it on site. To play with the one way on B site, you will have to set it up before the round starts, because you're going to have to use this screen to bounce it off. But essentially what you want to do is come up kind of diagonally against this little corner up here. And using your orb, you want to jump and right click it, and I'll kind of just bounce down the corner here until it lands. And if we end game phase, then as you can see, you get a really nice one way, exposing everyone's feet from wherever you play around here, and they won't be able to see anything before you can already see them. Obviously, eventually, if they do make it over here, they will be able to see you play around this wall. But you would have seen them long before they could see you. If you do decide to play with the one-way on B site, and they decide to take A site, that does give you your wall to play with for retake. Whether it's just like splitting up half the site, or walling off certain entryways. For example, you could come on top of this box and just wall off the entryway to A site. You could have this set up already, then you could just play around that. Or you might already have set up your both entryways with the wall over here, then moved over to B site for your one-way. Moving on to attacking A site, you're most likely always going to use the same orb. You're going to come up here, line it up with the shadow here, the center of both mouse options, and just a jump right click. Oh, sorry, jump left click. And this will set up for lineups as well as giving your team cover from mid and heaven. So as you're pushing around, it covers you here and here, and it gives you less places to worry about while you're clearing site. And whoever's got bomb knows where you, they have to plan it if you're playing for lineups. For your wall, again, it's pretty much up to you how you want to play it. A way you could play it is walling off U-Haul as well as their entryway on site from, if they attempt to rotate from B. So this will make them think twice about pushing on site, as well as if you've got Omen, Jet or whatever to take Heaven as well. This will make them have to push through that smoke. For your lineup on A default is the same place where you threw your orb, so you could do both after your team's planted. But you want to take the little flame off your orb and line it up with the shadow again, same point. And just shoot your venom, and that'll land in the same place as your orb. The second main plant location is from showers, and you've got the 3 boxes here. What you want to do is come over to this side. Using your smoke, you want to line up the radioactive symbol with the cable and the line of this building over here. And again, jump left click will land it at the boxes. This doesn't give you as much cover as the orb for A main, or sorry, A default plant site. But again, if this is the site where your team have planted, this is where you're going to want to play. Again, for the Venom, same place, but you're looking at the little line next to the radioactive symbol of your ult, and you want to line that up with a little corner of this building and the railing. As your fallback lineup for either of these, it's going to be up against this box at the back here, like right in between. And what you want to look at here is your Venom bar. And right in the center of it, if you imagine this little antenna at the top, you want to line that up with the middle, and the top of your Venom bar, you want to line that up with the top of this building here. And this is for your triple box lineup. That'll land right on site. So for a default plant site, what you want to do is use the last segment of your Venom bar and line it up with a railing on top of this building, on the wee corner there. And as you fire it, that will land on a default. So if they do start to push you up here, you could fire your first one, then just automatically fall back to the boxes over here. And you can do that for either side, just to give you a bit more cover. And as you fire your last Venom, you can either push it, depending on how much time you've got left, or just hold back if anyone decides to push it. For attacking B site, I'd say you'd normally always want to be playing long, because that's where you're going to find the default plant site lineups, as well as the best orb for clearing site. So obviously you want someone else to push this with you. Just make sure no one's up here, then as your team's covering you here, you can set up for lineups with your orb. Looking at the right click box, the wee arrow on top, I'm going to line that up with the little container on the roof here. and just the tip of it touching the bottom, and a jump left click will land you on default plant site. This orb's also good for covering backside for you, as well as anyone pushing through hookah. Means they've got less to look at, and you can essentially ignore this part of the map. And after you've set up your orb, I'd recommend just using your wall to cover elbow over here. Obviously they can push through this, so don't forget about it, but it does make it a bit harder for them to push yous. For lineups, again, same corner, but this time you're just looking at the venom bar on the second segment, and you're looking at this little support beam, and you're just slightly below it. As a fallback point, you definitely want one, since this isn't far off the site and people will be able to push you onto long. So what you want to do is, after firing your first one, you want to come back here to the cactus, right here, and just sit straight on top of it. Then looking at this little, I don't know, cable thing, you want to look just slightly left to it, then sit on top of the wall and just fire it straight over. This will land right on default for B site. As a second option, since the bomb is occasionally planted here, again, once you have been able to clear site, you can just chuck your orb here. Then you want to play back to the water on this graffiti over here, and just line up with the line. And using the little line beside your ammo count, you want to line that up in the inner corner of this third panel, and that'll land straight on where your orb is. If you're struggling to take hookah, you can also land the orb from over here, which is probably what you would prefer. If I bring it back, then what you want to do is essentially come down to the cable here, again looking at this little cable tie or whatever that's held against the wall, and again just a jump throw. This does give you some cover to get on site from hookah, but you can still kind of be seen from these corners, and there is a lot to clear. So I do recommend using going up long and going for default plant site. And essentially that's everything I have for bind. If you believe that I've missed something significant or something else that's quite sneaky that you think everyone should know, please let me know in the comments below. And I'll catch you for the next one. Cheers!